So it's been a busy month for the Buffalo Sabres. We've signed some people, we've lost some people, we've gained some players, and we've traded them away. Ah, so sad. Anyway, all this and more coming up on Sabres News Update.
Stand up and holler! Two best, four best, 6 bits a dollar! If you're a Buffalo Sabres fan, stand up and holler! Two best, four best, 6 bits a dollar! If you're a Buffalo Sabres fan, stand up and holler!
So in my last video, you might remember me talking about the possibility of the Sabres trading for Robin Regehr. Well, it happened. The Sabres got Robin Regehr in a trade from Calgary. Calgary sent Robin Regehr, former Sabre Elish Kotelik, and a second-round pick in next year's draft to Buffalo for Paul Byron and Chris Butler. This is a steal. I can't believe that we got Robin Regehr, Kotelik, and a second-round pick for only 2 players that seem to be past their prime already. Also, less than a week later, we hear rumors that Buffalo traded their 4th-round pick to the Islanders to get negotiating rights for defenseman Christian Ehrhoff, formerly of the Canucks. The only problem was the day before, we found out that the New York Islanders traded their 4th-round pick to the Canucks to get the negotiating rights to Christian Ehrhoff. Within the day, Buffalo signed Christian Ehrhoff to a 10-year deal worth $40 million. This is great because it's an offensive defenseman. He can score goals, he can pass the puck, and he has a great body. That came out wrong. Ah well. You know what I mean. Next signing. We start free agency. We start the period. An hour and a half goes by with not a lot of major acquisitions or not a lot of news. Most of the time it's just talking about who would land Brad Richards. And as a Sabres fan, I thought Pegula was going to go to Toronto where Richards and his agent was and make an offer. However, something else was on their mind as Buffalo canceled their trip. And then about half an hour after that, we get word that Buffalo had signed forward Ville Leino to a 4-year contract worth $27 million. This doesn't seem right. Leino, he hasn't scored 20 goals. He's 27 years old. We're basically latching onto him until he's 31. He hasn't scored 20 goals, and his most prolific season was last year when he was with Philly. And we don't need another winger because that's what he was playing as. But he prefers to play at center, and since we lost Tim Connolly, yes! Since we lost Tim Connolly, then we needed a center, and Leino prefers playing center, so we gained a center, and we didn't lose anything. Yay! Last signing that I know about, free agent-wise, instead of re-signing, is Drew McIntyre. No, not that Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, the goalie. Drew McIntyre was a goalie in Montreal's farm system, and he basically won every time they put him in. He had shutouts, he had a great goals allowed, he had an awesome save percentage. Now on to re-signings. First thing, big news. The Buffalo Sabres came to terms with Drew Stafford. Drew Stafford, he re-signed with the Sabres, I think 4 years for $16 million. He claimed that this is where he wants to be. He wants to be in Buffalo because he believes that he can help the club. Drew had an amazing year last year, scoring 31 goals, the highest in his career, and having, I think, 3 or 4 hat tricks during the season. He had a couple against Boston. Next, Nathan Gerbe re-signed for a multi-year contract. I don't really know the details of this. I had it written down, but I lost it. But I do know it's a multi-year contract, and he re-signed, basically saying this. Next thing I want to talk about is that Andre Sekera re-signed after we all thought he was going to go into arbitration. He re-signed for 4 years, I think also for $16 million, which was kind of a shocker. Because I didn't think that we would sign him for 4 years. I thought we'd get him for 1, maybe 2. But we signed him for 4 years. Last but not least, one of the best re-signings in my opinion, Jonas Enroth. The backup goalie who basically saved our butt during the end of the season. Jonas Enroth had a shutout and basically excelled in the NHL as a backup to Miller. And we knew that we had a chance to win every single night because if Miller was tired, we didn't have to put La Loser in. But instead, we would put Enroth in, and Enroth would get the job done. I'm extremely excited to have Enroth come back for 2 years, which is what he re-signed for. And in a couple years, or maybe in a year and a half, we could probably trade him, if he wants to be traded, to a team who's willing to give us a major star. Anyway, Buffalo also re-signed Cody McCormick. They re-signed Matt Ellis, Travis Turnbull, Dennis Pearson. They re-signed a bunch of people. And I just gave you a few of the names. And it turns out they did re-sign Greg Nani to a 1-year contract. Thought they would have locked him up for a couple more years, but hey, at least we get to see him in a Sabres uniform. Hey, that's all for Sabres news. I'm going to make another one of these shortly. Possibly within a month, maybe 2, depending on how busy I am. Because I am busy. So, thanks for watching. Bye-bye, and go Sabres.
Stand up and holler!